Thank you, Commissioner Nigro, and thank you to all the men and women of the FDNY, all the first responders, all the EMTs who went to the aid of those who were afflicted and did it so well. I want to start by thanking all of my colleagues who are here. Thank you, Governor Cuomo, and all of our state partners who are here, all of our federal partners. Thank you, Congressman Jerry Nadler, for joining us. Everyone's here in common cause. This was an attack on the United States of America, an attack on New York City, an attack on our people, and it was the definition of terrorism, an effort to take away people's hope and spirit and to make them change. And what New Yorkers showed already is we will not change. We will not be cowed. We will not be thrown off by anything. And this cowardly act, targeting the most innocent people in the middle of the most innocent pursuits, was meant to make people feel they could not go about their daily lives. And what we saw last night, Governor Cuomo and I went to our annual Halloween parade. 1 million New Yorkers showed up for that event. And as we spoke with them, they were undeterred. They were strong. It made me very proud of New York City and all the people of this country to see that strength in the face of adversity. This morning, people went to work, kids went to school. No one thought there was any choice but to stand up to this act of terror. So as we now move forward, we start with giving our prayers to the families of the 8 who were killed. They, as you heard, 6 of them came from other nations here because they saw New York as a special place to be, and we now and forever will consider them New Yorkers. They shared this tragedy with us. We will remember them as New Yorkers. They were here because this city is a beacon to people all over the world, a place that every kind of person comes to and is respected, and that won't change. 8.5 million people here. We understand this was an attack on our values. It was an effort to break our spirit. But as an effort to break our spirit, it failed. New York City is a very strong and resilient place. We have great faith in the men and women who protect us. We have such pride in the NYPD, and we see them on duty, and we know they are the very best. So we're strong, we're resilient people because we know we're protected, and we know that this place works when people don't feel deterred. And I'll tell you, this violence was an effort to make us blink, and we won't blink. We won't change. The NYPD yesterday showed us once again how much New Yorkers can rely on them, and I want to commend Officer Ryan Nash. I spoke to him earlier today, a good young man, 5 years on the force. He was very humble about what he did, but what he did was extraordinary and gave people such faith and such appreciation in our police force. Now, this investigation, as you've heard, has just begun. It's important to emphasize again this morning that we do not see any additional credible and specific threats against New York City. We will constantly keep people posted. But we do ask everyone to be vigilant. Commissioner O'Neill laid out what everyone has to understand. Be a part of the solution. Share what you know with the police. Don't think twice. Give information to our officers. In many of those previous efforts to undermine us, the Commissioner referenced those almost 24 previous efforts to attack New York City. A number of them were stopped because good people came forward with information in time. We need everyone to understand that they can do that too. As we move forward, we will look forward to the marathon on Sunday. It will go on as scheduled. It will be an extraordinary event, as it always is. It will be well protected, as it always is, and we will take additional measures to ensure that. But my message to all New Yorkers is do what you do best. Be New Yorkers. Be strong, be proud, be resilient. Show the whole world right now that we will not be moved by terror. Again, you see everyone here, every agency united in common cause. And this is also part of what makes us strong. And with that, I want to thank for his efforts and the state's efforts and welcome Governor Cuomo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me begin by asking us all to remember in our thoughts and prayers the 8 lives that were lost tragically. That is damage that can never be undone, and there are families today feeling pain that is unimaginable. Mayor de Blasio, to the NYPD, the FDNY, the state police. I was on the scene yesterday. The performance was phenomenal. And the coordination and the effort was top shelf. And it gives one reassurance to know that there is this level of professionalism and expertise protecting the people of this city and this state. It's also important to remember that while the leadership of the police departments is top shelf, Officer Nash, 5 years on the job, 28 years old, he was a hero. And the NYPD is not just the leadership, it's the men and women who are out there every day, who are on the first line. And I think Officer Nash really showed how important they are and how talented and how brave. So we all applaud and congratulate him. I spoke to the Homeland Security Secretary yesterday, who pledges full coordination with all the federal efforts and the FBI. I think it's important that we are all working as one. And in this kind of situation, there is no alternative. This is not a time to have politics. This is not a time to point fingers. This is not a time to find blame. It's a time to come together and work for a common goal. The effort yesterday killed 8 people. But in my opinion, the effort failed because the effort was not to kill 8 people. The effort was to disrupt us, to terrorize us, to scare us, to create mayhem. That's the effort. That's the goal on all of these attacks. New York is a special target because we have that Statue of Liberty in our harbor that we're proud of, holding up the torch for freedom and democracy. But we've seen it all around the world. And it is to create mayhem and terrorize. And it failed. The mayor is exactly right. The Halloween parade last night was a beautiful example of the failure of the attempt. 1 million New Yorkers came out with their families, with their children. They celebrated. They were there just a number of hours after the incident. And it was New York's way of saying, we will not be deterred. We are not terrorized. You will not win. We said that in 1993 after the World Trade Center bombing the first time. We said that after 9/11. And we said that yesterday, unprompted, spontaneously. They were all there. And the mayor and I marched. And it was really reassuring to see the resilience of New Yorkers. Now you'll see increased police presence all across the metropolitan area. We are going to double the number of bodies at places of congregation, airports, tunnels, Penn Station. which has 600,000 people that go through it every day, the most heavily traveled transportation hub in the hemisphere. I don't want anyone to draw any inference from that. We don't know anything. We're not responding to anything. It's just as a precaution. Same thing at the marathon. The marathon will go on because New York goes on, and it's an important event for all of New Yorkers. Again, I want to end where I started. The effort by the first responders was phenomenal. The reaction by New Yorkers, as evidenced last night, this morning, people got up, they went to work, children went to school, and that's what makes New Yorkers special. That strength, that resilience, that ability to be undeterred in the face of ugliness and the actions of a depraved coward, because that's what this was. This was the actions of a depraved coward. There is no grand statement to what was done. It was the act of a coward. And that's the way it should be regarded, because that's the way it was. I was proud to be the governor of the state of New York last night. I'm proud every day, but seeing New Yorkers' response made me feel especially proud. And again, to the team you see assembled up here, the FBI, the NYPD, FDNY, the seamless coordination really is something to behold and a source of strength and comfort, I hope, for all New Yorkers. Thank you.